One of the things storms do, like Irma, is to make us focus on our homeowner insurance policies. Joining me now to talk about what to look for and what changes we could see is William Merlin. He's an insurance attorney. He's represented insurance companies, but now and for much of his career, he's been representing policyholders like you. And sir, thank you very much for coming in. We appreciate it.
It's great to be here.
The first thing people say, at least most of us, I know we all had the discussion I did, is how much am I likely to see my insurance go up after not only Irma, but we've had Harvey, a heartbreaking disaster out in Texas. We've had Maria, we've had Irma. What are we likely to see on our bills next year?
Well, the chances are your rates are not going to go down. They're probably going to go up.
How much? Just if you took a ballpark estimate, what would you think?
This can be interesting. I'll say less than 10% and probably closer to 5% at the most. The truth of the matter is we're very fortunate in that there's a lot of excess capital going into reinsurance companies. And reinsurance companies for hurricanes determine what the rates are eventually going to be charged from the primary insurance carriers. Insurance spreads the risk. So even if you have losses that go on in Texas, Puerto Rico, they actually come back and affect your rates here. So we have to see at the end of the hurricane season. But from what I've been reading right now, it has not been a big impact.
And Citizens is more fortified in Florida than it was years ago. Talk about that, because many of you at home are sitting saying, what about my Citizens policy? Talk a little more particularly to that.
And that's really important. Our government has done a really good job at the state level getting the amount of policies out of Citizens and back into the private insurance market. And so the hit that Citizens is taking this time around is far less than it was back in 2004 and 2005. And that's really a good thing. So Citizens itself is not prone to as big a catastrophe because actually it's gone through now almost a decade without having to pay for a hurricane. It's built up its reserves and it has less policies in its portfolio.
What are you seeing directly, indirectly in the last few weeks or anecdotally about the primary damage that we saw in southeast Florida, southwest, and of course up north we saw flooding along the St. Johns, but more wind, more water? What is kind of the take in these first early weeks after Irma?
There's catastrophic wind damage and flood damage down in the Keys.
Okay, right, and we want to note that the Keys is its own, almost its own separate, it's heartbreaking, heartbreaking.
It's unbelievable. We have an attorney who lost a home down there, and on both sides, he said it's a combination of both wind and water.
And I'm glad you bring that up because we don't want to sound parochial. We've said throughout our coverage the Keys is an area that's going to need a lot of care. Once it hit mainland Florida, some of the bite of this storm had been taken out of it. Had it not, you and I'd be having a wholly different discussion about the entire length of this peninsula.
I thought that there was going to be either a catastrophic loss up the eastern seaboard or the western seaboard. And I've been in a helicopter all the way down through the middle of the state where the eye went down to Marco Island and up through Naples. And certainly Marco Island has a lot of damage, not as catastrophic as the Keys. There's a lot of flooding, though, that's going on. Even in Naples, a lot of flooding. And as we go up the eastern seaboards, there are pockets of it, especially north of Jacksonville. So this is was a huge storm going all the way up through the Carolinas and into Tennessee in some aspects. But in our state, we're finding most of the damage in the most southern part of our state, down in the Keys, parts of Dade County, over toward Marco Island, Naples, and a little bit less in Fort Myers. And as the storm broke up, we got very, very lucky.
Let me bring it home to the person who says, I had a tree fall on part of my house or my car, into my pool. What do they do? Because the other question I get as a subset of that is I have my policy, but then, for instance, counties in our viewing area are in the individual assistance eligibility for FEMA. So they say, do I use my policy, FEMA? Can you give people some clear direction, at least where they go with those kind of incidents?
It's real clear. FEMA only pays after you don't have insurance. So the first thing you should do if you have a tree that's gone into your home is to take pictures, call your agent, and get in line. That's covered under your windstorm policy, and even the debris removal from taking the tree away is covered under your insurance policy.
If the tree, I've had this question, if the tree didn't damage a home, if you're lucky enough that it didn't, is that covered?
You have to look at your insurance policy. Some of them cover.
I get a lot of those questions.
Every single insurance policy is a little bit different with respect to debris removal, so that if you have a boat from somebody else's yard that might get into yours, the issue is it's not your boat, it's somebody else's boat. Some policies cover for debris that's owned by others, some don't. Some require damage
to the house itself.
To the house itself. Now, most of the time, most policies cover for trees that fall down, debris, with respect to the home, even if you have to, and it helps sometimes, it covers it if you have to get construction there too. You got to move the tree in order to do the construction. So every policy is a little bit different, but you definitely have to read on debris removal portion of that policy.
And let me ask you, this is sort of esoteric. It just came to me some. They were out of work a few days here or there. Insurance policies are not going to cover any loss of time at the job or anything else. It's all related to the home, what happened to your home or to your property.
Now, businesses, and you're right, businesses might be in a little bit of a different situation.
But I've had the question on the personal side, too.
It's not covered.
Let me ask you, just generally speaking, it's a very tough lesson for all of us, but it reminds us, go back and look at the policy. So when you talk to our viewers, what are the things that they need to look to going forward to make sure they absolutely have in that policy? And I'd like you to include this whole flood insurance debate as part of that, because we saw what happened with Harvey, where people who were outside flood zones now don't have homes because they thought, well, I don't need to buy a policy.
Well, the first myth is that only certain people in the special areas can buy flood insurance. And what we learned in Houston, especially, is that anybody can buy flood insurance. As a matter of fact, when you're not in the special zones, it's extraordinarily cheap because the risk of it happening to you is very low. So I always tell people, consider, and you really should be buying flood insurance if you're anywhere close to an area with any even remote possibility of it flooding. The second thing with respect to looking at your homeowner's insurance policy, check the deductibles. Most people can't pay a 5% deductible, and where's that money going to come from? The law and ordinance coverage, because when you go back to rebuild a home, you got to build it to today's current code. And if you got a home that's over 20 years old, you could find the increased cost to be almost 25 to 50% higher because you have to rebuild your entire house back to code.
So you want law and ordinance coverage?
Law and ordinance coverage. Flood coverage is something. Lower deductibles you should take a look for, and for heaven's sake, make certain that you don't have limitations with respect to water damage. Some insurance policies, some cheap insurance policies today are starting to put limitations in a dollar amount with respect to the amount of water damage. And so after you have a hurricane that wipes out your window or your roof and all the rain comes in, you need to have enough insurance to cover for that.
In our remaining moments, final thoughts from your place and expertise, and if you'd include in that the caution we've had to all of you to watch out for scams.
Oh my goodness. Watch out for those that are victims. Don't be a victim twice.
How do you avoid that?
Pick reputable local contractors most of the time that have been around, people that are
licensed, insured.
Absolutely, and that have local, great references, so that you know they're going to be there.
Check their references.
Because if they're not around and they're gone 5 years from now, that warranty doesn't mean anything with respect to the workmanship that they do for you. Okay, and anything else you'd like to add? I would be very careful about signing assignment of benefits or especially powers of attorney to these contractors. A lot of people get a lot of pressure, but never sign a power of attorney, and be very careful with respect to what contracts provide you in terms of assignment of benefit forms. All right. Thank you very much. We appreciate your expertise. I know it's a lot for people to wade through, but you've certainly helped. We thank you for coming in. Thank you. All right. We'll be back with just a bit more in a moment.